Are you struggling to become better? Then this video is for you. I will be sharing important tips for you that will take you from noob to pro, where you will learn everything you need to know about taking squad fights. Fix important controls such as your joystick, and useful settings you must know. Without wasting any time, let's get started. If your enemy is using a shotgun, do not get close. Instead, make some distance between you and your enemy. And now try to take the kill. But the most effective method is to push together with a teammate. If you are alone and driving in an open field, immediately get out of the vehicle if you come across an enemy squad in a vehicle as well. Your chances of surviving are much higher this way. Are you alone against an enemy squad? Don't give off any footsteps. Focus on surprising them when they least expect you. Don't finish off every knock. Leave them to lure your enemy towards them. The best strategy is teamwork. Always choose pushing as a team to wipe out squads easily. If an enemy team is pushing you inside of a building, do not move into their line of fire. Let them push you instead. Pre-fire at the point they will appear from. Watch closely how I handle this situation. Always focus on pre-firing at the entry point. Wear a good pair of headsets. This allows you to pay attention to sound cues effectively, which help enhance your gameplay. Pay attention to the mistake I made here. I did not pinpoint my enemy location before pushing. Now focus on the right method. Take cover and hold for as long as possible. Try to pinpoint the location of every enemy. Last enemy remaining, and I already figured out the location. It's often useful to carry a shotgun and an assault rifle as your primary and secondary weapons. Assault rifles are useful when you are surrounded and pushed by multiple enemies at the same time. Or for taking long-range targets. Shotguns will help you overpower your enemy in 1 versus 1 fights. Don't make this mistake when sniping enemies far away. Place your aim a little above head level to accommodate for the bullet drop. When shooting enemies in moving vehicles, place your aim ahead of them. This makes it much easier to shoot them down. Next, you need to learn how to do a perfect jiggle. The first step is to make this left and right movement. Make sure you don't move too quick. Next, do this movement while keeping your aim at the head level. Finally, repeat these steps while firing. Now you can do a perfect jiggle movement. Do you want perfect movement? Then the first thing to focus on is your control layout. I will always recommend that you learn how to use third layout. If you want controlled and precise movement, third layout is the best. I know this is a difficult layout to master because placing your joystick perfectly is not easy. But if you want to be the best, you have to put in the work. So come to training grounds and pay attention. I will show you how to fix your joystick. Start by using a joystick size of 90 to 120, whichever is easy for you. I prefer using 116 as that is most perfect from my experience. Next, we start by placing the joystick close to the bottom of the screen, but not too close. A similar position would be suitable. The next step is to decide the horizontal location of the joystick. This will require some trial and error, but try to place it where you would naturally place your thumb. Try these 6 movements to ensure your joystick is perfectly placed. You should be able to jiggle easily. Move easily. Make this movement behind cover repeatedly. Make sure you can do this for the other side as well. You should be able to make a clean jump repeatedly. And make this forward jump and immediate back movement easily as well. Once you are able to do these 6 movements without fail, you know your joystick is perfectly placed. Now we will dive into important settings that you need to know. Camera sensitivity. This is the sensitivity related to moving your camera using just your fingers. ADS camera sensitivity. This is the sensitivity related to moving your camera using your fingers while firing. Gyroscope camera sensitivity. This is the sensitivity when you are moving the camera while tilting your device. Gyroscope ADS sensitivity. This is the sensitivity related to controlling your camera when firing using just the tilting motion of your device. Now, I will teach you about sprint sensitivity. Since I noticed most people don't understand the use of this setting, first let me explain how it works. If the sprint sensitivity is set to 100, even a small movement on your joystick makes your character start running. And if you lower the sprint sensitivity, a slight movement on the joystick will only make a small movement. Basically, it controls the sensitivity of your joystick. Now I will show you how this option can be useful for you. My sprint sensitivity is set to 100. As the sprint sensitivity is high, the character moves too much out of cover. This movement is ineffective and you are open to enemy fire. Instead, lower your sprint sensitivity to around 65. Now you can perfectly move slightly out of cover, shoot your target and move back in. Look at the difference. Now this movement makes it harder for the opponent to keep track of you. I recommend a sensitivity of 65. Try these for yourself and see what works best for you. Let's now focus on TPP settings. TPP 80 gives you the lowest field of vision, while TPP 90 gives you a larger field of vision. So you may think the better field of vision is best, but this is not the case. TPP 90 makes your bullet connectivity much lower, making it harder to hit headshots, while TPP 80 makes your connectivity much better, making it easier to get headshots. Therefore, I personally recommend 80, but you can use any value from 80 to 84.
Next, we will focus on horizontal swipe acceleration. What is this setting? I will explain this setting simply. Set your camera TPP to 40 and your ADS TPP to 40. Now disable the horizontal acceleration option. Try moving your camera fast. Now repeat this while firing. The sensitivity is low as expected. Now enable horizontal swipe acceleration. Now try moving the aim. The sensitivity is much higher. Even when firing, the sensitivity is much higher. This is because after enabling horizontal swipe acceleration, the faster you swipe the screen with your finger, the higher your sensitivity gets. This does not apply for vertical movements, and it also does not apply for gyroscope sensitivity. I recommend disabling this option, so you have better control over your sensitivity.
Check if your camera moves when moving the peak button. Now repeat the same for the scope button. This is the main reason you have unstable aim when peeking and scoping. Go to Basic Control Settings and disable camera rotation while ADS. And disable camera rotation while leaning. Now the peak button won't move anymore while you touch it. Same goes for the scope button. This will immediately help improve your scoping, as well as your aim while peeking.
Killing spree for the...
Next, focus on the peek and open scope option. when enabled. The moment you click on the peek option, the scope is also opened at the same time. However, you will be unable to peek normally without opening the scope. Therefore, I recommend you disable peek and open scope. Next, we will look into the focal length adjustment option. This applies to the 6x scope. When this is set to hold, you can just hold and drag to adjust the magnification of the scope. Finally, release the button to close it. When set to tap, you have to tap and then again, tap drag to adjust the magnification. This is slightly difficult compared to the previous method. Therefore, I recommend you set this option to hold.
Next, we will look at the peek mode option. Make sure the peek option is enabled so you get the peek option. As previously explained, when peek mode is set to tap, you have to tap the button each time to peek and disable the peek. When you set the option to hold, you have to tap down and hold to peek, and release the finger to undo the peek. If the option is set to mixed, both tap and hold options will work. I recommend setting this option to tap.
Always keep the universal mark enabled. This provides you with a button, which can be used to mark enemies, vehicles, or locations.
Mark the location. Watch out.
Keep the mark assist enabled. Next, have you ever accidentally turned your gun into tap mode and ended up being killed? Make sure to set the firing mode display button to separate. Now you can place the firing mode button elsewhere, so you won't accidentally click it. Disable the merge crouch and prone button. Next, enable the quick throw option. So it allows you to throw any throwable by holding on the icon itself. Set the throwable's quick wheel option to throw. Now you can hold the throwable icon to open a selection wheel. Drag your finger to the throwable you need, and hold on to it to throw it. Next, enable the Throw Consumables option. This will show the selected consumable on your throwable option, allowing you to throw it. This is useful for passing throwable to your teammates during intense situations. Enable the FPP swap option so you can switch to FPP mode when necessary. Next, which mark style should you use? Classic or modern mark style? The classic mark style is usually clearer but may block your vision, whereas the modern mark style is more convenient as it doesn't block your view. I recommend the modern mark style. Next, you should enable the Show Throwable Trajectory Line option. This will show a preview of the trajectory whenever you equip a throwable. This helps improve your accuracy. Set the main screen audio markers to classic. Now it will be easier for you to locate your enemies. Enable the auto-mark hit locations so that your enemies get marked when you damage them while firing. Set the reload interrupt method to fire interrupt. This way, if you are in the middle of reloading, you can click the fire button to cancel the reload and continue firing. This is useful for if an enemy pushes you while you are reloading. Make sure to disable all settings under recording. This will help to reduce FPS drops. Next, I want you to separate the jump climb button. Now you don't have to worry about your character accidentally climbing an obstacle when you try to jump and fire. You can easily jump and fire over the obstacle since the jump and climb buttons are now separated. Next, disable the blocked sight warning. Now you can see your aim even when you are close to an object, making it easier to place your aim on a target from behind cover. Next, set your TPP setting to 80. This setting makes your close range accuracy much more accurate, making it easier to get headshots. As for the sprint sensitivity, use 65 as explained earlier. Next, we will look into another common issue. Have you ever got stuck while peeking? Enable the sprint interrupts peek mode option. Now you can easily cancel the peek by running to any direction. Disable aim assist.
So you have full control of your aim when multiple enemies are in front of you.
Awesome.
Finally, disable the headshot sounds. This option makes your bullet connectivity much better. Most pro players disable this option to optimize their bullet connectivity. With that, your control settings are now perfectly set up. Now I will show you the best graphics settings. For smooth gameplay, always use smooth graphics and use the maximum frame rate allowed on your device. Ultra Extreme in my case, which is 120 FPS. Use Manual Adjust. This will reduce FPS drops. And make sure you set this at the max setting if you have 120 Ultra Extreme option. Use the colorful style for better visibility. Set the brightness to 90. Next, switch to efficiency and disable these three settings. Disable anti-aliasing, disable power saving, and disable auto-adjust graphics option. And finally, make sure you are using the maximum SFX quality available for your device. With that, we have come to the end of this video. Don't forget to subscribe if you found this video useful. Make sure to leave a comment on what you learned in this video. I will see you guys soon with more content.